Welcome to Dragonfly Trading. My name is Carrie. I'm a full-time trader, mentor in the crypto and Forex markets. Today's video is going to be an update on Bitcoin, ETH. We're going to take a look at the DXY, the SPX, and gold and silver. Yes, we have a lot to go over, so bear with me. Before we get started, I have an announcement to make. I am having a 50% off sale on the course till the end of Labor Day. Take advantage of this. You will not see this again for a very long time. Get in there, learn the course, and become a profitable trader. All right, let's get started. We are on the weekly time frame of Bitcoin. We are now underneath the 200 weekly moving average. If we close the candle like it is right now, it will be a bearish engulfing candle. We would have to bounce to the upside significantly and come back to 23,000 to negate this being a bearish engulfing. So we're still thinking that if we can hold this current level, that we will be putting in a wave 4 and that we will go up for a wave 5 to approximately 112,000. That is an approximate estimation because I am sure that if that scenario happens, that the fifth wave will get overextended. Okay. If we invalidate the wave 4 by coming into approximately 14,000 where this red invalidation line is, we're going to flip and assume that we're putting in a wave 2. When we pull a Fibonacci retracement, like we are putting in a wave 4, we are sitting in between the 382 and the 0.5. That is the lighter blue colors here. The market doesn't usually do that. It usually hits one or the other. If we pull a Fibonacci retracement like we're coming down for a wave 2, we are still in between. The 0.5 is sitting at 14,887 and the 618 is sitting at 10,366. So keep that in mind that we are sitting in between fib levels regardless of the way that we pull them. Okay, we are underneath the acceleration channel and underneath the base channel. Also, we rejected right off of the base channel. All right. Let's talk about a few counts here. The first one I am partial to is the WXY. Okay. This is assuming that we've already put in the yellow WXY and that we are bouncing for an X or a B. That we will eventually, if not now, give the yellow leg a partner here in the yellow, whether it's now or we come up further. And we'll talk about that on the lower time frames. Yes, we can come up higher, okay, either to this resistance or the one above it, and still put in an X or a B. It would be a three-wave move, and then put in the yellow leg. Of course, it is much better the higher the market is when this happens, because the lower it is, the lower this leg can come down. And also, yes, it could be over right here, but we'll talk about it. This scenario is very less likely, almost non-existent in my book, okay? So I am going to take that off. All right, let's go down to the lower time frame. All right, if this is done and we are turning to the downside now, we would assume that this was a complex structure. It hit the 618 perfectly, ending diagonal for C, and that it was a WXY. It would mean that we are starting with 5 waves. And what starts with 5 ends with 5. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later also. The option of going up in an ABC, if we come under 20,715, which is very close here, this option comes off the table because we are not allowed for a B wave of a zigzag to come underneath its A wave. So this option is very close to invalidating. And then the last option, which is not my first go-to, is that this is a leading diagonal. It is an ugly one, I will say that, okay? This leg here I don't like as a 5-wave move. That's why I don't like the diagonal, but I'm keeping it on the table until it invalidates. Assume that the A, the B, and the C is what we are making as a correction. We also have another option where this diagonal was a little bit bigger, something like this, which, like I said, I don't really like it that much, and that the 5 waves that we're coming down is going to be an A wave. We will need to bounce very high for the B so that the C wave can come down and not invalidate this. Now, like I said, it's not my first go-to count, but it is a possibility. And what it would mean is one of two things, that this is either a wave 1 or it's an A wave. It would mean that this would be a 2 or a B wave, and then we would pop up for 3, or we would go bullish in a 3rd wave. The reason that I am still have the diagonal count on the table is because when the market bottoms, a lot of times it looks very corrective, it looks choppy, and then it will fool you. So I'm keeping every option on the table until it is invalidated. All right, let's go down a little bit lower here and let's talk about this leg to the downside. Now, if we ended here, that means that we are coming down in a 5-wave move. The option for this to be an ABC, its last extension it can hit is the 2.618 at 19,576. So it can handle one more rollover and still be an expanding flat. I do think we're in a 4th wave and that we are going to roll over for a 5th. I'll go down a little bit lower here so you can see my count. Whoops. Come on, Carrie. All right, I see this as a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have this 1 and 2, ends with 3 here. I think we're in a 4th that could retest this prior degree 4th. It could come up that high. It doesn't need to. And then we will roll over for a 5th. Now, how we will know if it's the flat or if it plans to come deeper is that we will not get a 5-wave move here. Okay, the 5-wave move would be bullish. If we get a 3-wave move where you'll see a correction in the middle of 2 equal legs, that means we are coming down deeper. Okay. All right, let's move over to ETH. ETH on the weekly time frame also has a bearish engulfing. If we close the candle the way it is now, it would have to come back up to approximately 1700 to wipe that bearish engulfing off the table. We have come down to the 382. We may come down to the 0.5 or the 618. We have retraced back up to the 0.5. We have rejected off of that. That is the usual place that a retracement likes to come back to. Okay. We are underneath our acceleration channel, but we are nowhere near our base channel. Again, I am very partial to the WXY count. If X and B is in, then we are giving the white WXY a partner leg now. Yes, it can come higher, and we'll talk about that. If we are putting in a longer leg here, okay, if we are correcting this entire structure, we would be looking at minimum of January 23rd for this to put in a partner. It also, if it came to the 1-to-1, would put in a 92% correction, which would obviously be a wave 2. And validation for that is way down here. Okay. So we will call it a wave 2 until it takes this bottom, and I don't think that will happen. All right, let's move down and talk about this move. All right, so it's a big debate on whether this move was an impulse wave or whether it was a complex correction. I am leaning complex correction, but that doesn't mean that I am correct. If it is an impulse wave, we have a wave 1, a wave 2, wave 3, 4, 5. It did not hit proper extensions. I would have expected our wave 5 to come up to the 2.236. I would have expected our wave 3 to hit the 1.618, and neither one did. Keep that in mind. The way that we would call this a complex correction is that this would be A, this would be B, and this would be C for a W. X wave, and then A, B, C. It is a very beautiful complex correction in my book. So that means that it would have ended here either way. And it means that we are coming down in 5 waves. So it's either an A wave or it's a wave 1. We will bounce for either a B wave or a wave 2. We will either put in a C or this will melt off and become a 3, 4, 5, and on its way down to break this low. Not financial advice, but think about what you need to do in this bounce when it happens. Because what starts with 5 definitely ends with 5. This is the least we're going to get. Okay. And we could definitely also, the bear option could be playing out. Okay. Let's get down in this leg here real quick. It is pretty much the same as Bitcoin, where I'm expecting one more rollover. Now, if we take out this order block and this order block here, we are no longer in a 4th wave. It will mean my count is off and we are retracing it. So as it stands right now, I think we will roll over for a 5th, but if we take out these 2 order blocks, we've come too far up, and this is either making a 3-wave move, which should be what it does, or we are totally off and this isn't a 5-wave move, but I'm not leaning that way. All right, let's take a look at the DXY. The DXY is important because the SPX does opposite, which means Bitcoin does opposite. This is the way that I am counting it, that we had a nest down here of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Notice how that the first 1 and 2 is the biggest. The second 1, 2 is smaller, but bigger than the next 1 and 2. This is what a proper nest should look like. Okay. In white, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 extended 5th, leading us into orange 3, orange 4, and orange 5, which leads us into blue 3. We are still in this 1 and 2. Then we have a 4 going up for blue 5, which will lead us into yellow 3. We'll then get a bigger wave 4 and then a wave 5. I have dug into this count many, many times, and this is my best option for it. So when this opens this evening, I expect more upside and then a larger correction when it's done, which would mean Bitcoin would go down, definitely. Let's take a look at the SPX. I see this first move as an ABC. This move to the upside may turn into an X or B. We will talk about it. If it does, we will get a partner leg in yellow. This move to the downside looks like three waves to me, but it could be argued it's a diagonal. If it is a diagonal, it means that it can be A or a wave one. We will have to wait and see. First on the agenda is, does this end up being X or B? Okay. If we come into 3588, we're going to invalidate this being a wave 4. Okay, which means if we come into it, it's either turning into a wave 2 or much worse, meaning this is coming down to make a much larger wave 4. Okay. All right, let's move on down here to this correction. All right, so if this correction is going to be an impulse wave, we need another wave to the upside. With that being said, we do not want it to break underneath $4,079, okay, right at the bottom of this box. If it's going to pull back for a 4, a higher degree 4 will not break a prior degree. It will use it as support, and then it will kick up for a wave 5. We need this to happen to consider that this is a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. At that point, we will have to see, how does it correct? Do we come down correctively? If we do, we will assume that that is a B or a wave 2. Okay, which means C wave, what starts with 5 ends with 5, or wave 3. Okay, all right, let's move over to gold. Let me move up here. So my higher outlook is this is a 1, this is a 2, and this leg is a 3. I know that that looks a little weird, but when you go on linear, it's very obvious. Okay. I think that this is a 3, 4, and we're in wave 5. All right, let's talk about this wave. We have a 3-wave move here, 3-wave move here, and then this move here, even though it looks like 5 waves, when you get in close, it's not. This is going to end up being some type of 3-wave move here. Okay. I expect it to hold the prior degree 4th right here. We don't want to break that. The 0.5 is right on the 1.382. That is a good spot for it to stop. Put in a wave 4 and push up for a wave 5. Okay. Where we would have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, 4, 5. Coming into 1375 will invalidate this being a wave 4. I feel pretty confident that it will hold and push up for a wave 5. Okay. But we've already tapped the 1-to-1, so we're expecting 1.236 or 1.382. All right, let's move over to silver. Silver has this impulsive move to the upside. Its first initial move was a 3-wave move, a pullback, and an ending diagonal. This set in an A wave, 3-wave move to the upside set in B, and now we're coming down in what looks like a C or could end up being a 3-wave move. Regardless, we've hit the 0.5. Now we're looking at the 618 and the 1.382 or the 1.618. We have support here, so I would expect this to be the place that the bounce comes. This is either an A wave or a wave 1. This will be a B or a wave 2. Either way, what starts with 5 should end with 5. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please take advantage of the 50% off. You will not see this for a very long time. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.